A favorite memory for me in Apex had to do when I was in high school. So 1980, graduate of Apex High School, and I'll never forget my senior year, the homecoming parade. And like we do today, we had a homecoming parade that went down Salem Street. And so me and a couple of my girlfriends decided, wouldn't it be fun to paint ourselves up like clowns and put on roller skates and roller skate down Salem Street. So myself, along with Diane Jurgen and Julie Olive and Luzetta Jones, we all took turns painting each other up, and we put on roller skates, not roller blades, but old-fashioned roller skates, and we skated down Salem Street. And I just remember, falling down and laughing, and people laughing at us. And what makes the memory even sweeter is I saw a picture years later of us, and in the background you could see the stores and the buildings, and they were boarded up. And so why this is a favorite memory is, of course, now the buildings are not boarded up. They're all thriving businesses. Downtown is explosive. It's a great place to be. It's the gem, it's the jewel of the town. And so that's a great memory for me, just because of the fun nature of the event and how goofy we were, and how much fun we had, and still have those friends in my life today. And then seeing that picture of the businesses and buildings boarded up, and then fast forward to today and it's a completely different picture. So I love that. So an important memory for me of my life in Apex really is a series of memories, and that is that when I was in my early 30s, I moved away from Apex for 20 years, but I still had family in the area. And so I would come back to visit sometimes every couple of months, sometimes it might be a 6-month gap before I came back to visit. But it was during that time, it was about 1993 to 2023, somewhere, or 2013 rather. During that time, when I would come back, I would see the town growth, because when you're here in it every day, you don't necessarily see it as much. But when you leave and come back for a visit, I was seeing all this incredible growth, both with commercial buildings and a lot of residential, and even roads that were being built or changed, or road names that keep getting changed. And so I remember, that being an important thing to me, because I thought, wow, I never thought I'd see my town grow like this. I guess when you move away, you really appreciate that, because the town I was in was not growing. And so I thought it was quite a dramatic contrast to see the town I had left was growing and thriving, and the town I was in was really just kind of stale and stagnant. And so I thought that was real important, and I loved watching that progress and growth, so that when I finally did move back, it wasn't all foreign to me. It still took me a while to figure out where I was going in Apex, because things had changed a lot. I remember one time coming back and actually being lost, and I thought, how in the world did I get lost in Apex? But I did. So that was really important to me to see that, and to be able to witness that growth and to witness that change from afar, and then come back and actually live in it again. So what makes Apex home to me is actually that it's the home for a lot of my family. And I think that's one thing that we all can relate to when we think of home, we think of family. But I do have a lot of family members, from my mom, my siblings and their spouses, to nephews and nieces, and now even grandnephews and nieces that live in this area. And so that really just defines it. It's great to be able to stay in the local community and visit with my family. We don't live right next door to each other, so we do have to make an appointment to come visit, but it's great to have them all in close proximity. And as a matter of fact, one of the things that we like to do right here in Apex is we have an annual family kickball game. And so we do this kickball game right over at Hunter Street Park in the outfield of one of the baseball fields. And when we do this, there's like 30, 35 of us, right? And so we're having this kickball game, and we're just going crazy and having fun. And we're, very low skill level, so it's nothing professional. But people that are at the park that day will stop and they'll ask, oh, is this a league or what's going on here? We're like, no, it's just family. We all live in the Apex area, and this is home for us. So we're just having a family kickball game, and people seem to get a real kick out of that. My hopes for Apex potential, being the current economic development director for the town, I would be remiss if I didn't say something about continued growth in our commercial and industrial and business sector. I was the first economic development director that the town hired. Been here for almost 10 years. And so during that time, we put in a lot of strategies for both small business and large business industries to locate in Apex, because truly you hear that moniker, live, work, and play, in Apex, or live, work, and play in your community. And a lot of people do live and play here, but we want more people to truly work here as well. So putting together those employment centers where people can, either they've grown up here and they want to stay here and there are some job opportunities for them, or the folks that come into the community from another state or another part of the state. Just making sure that we continue to realize that Apex does have a lot of potential in that area. We do have good infrastructure. We do have good water and sewer capabilities. We do have good areas that are great for potential industrial growth, business growth. We do have a lot of potential for our entrepreneur community and developing those small businesses. So again, looking at it from an economic development lens, I really hope that the potential for Apex continues to be the growth in our employment centers and our employment opportunities for all the citizens. I had been away from the Apex community for about 20 years, but my goal was to get back here as quick as I could. So about the time that I was ready to leave my former community and move back to this area, I found out that the town of Apex was advertising for the first ever economic development director. And I thought, wow, how great timing is this, that I can move back to my community and maybe get a job there too. So so that was 2014. I was hired as the town's first official economic development director. I stood up that department. It was a department of one, me, to start with. So that was interesting. And it was, I don't want to say it was difficult, but it was, Apex had changed a lot. And so a lot of the players had changed. So I had to kind of relearn who was who and who, who was in control of this, that, and the other at the town level, both from a government perspective and just leaders in the community. And then one of the challenges I had when I first came here is that in economic development, we live and breathe by product. You have to have buildings or sites in your community so that you can bring new business in, or you can help your existing industry grow. And we had no product in Apex. And so that was a challenge right off the bat. But we'd had some successes in my former community. So that was one of the reasons I think they hired me, was because I had that experience. And so one of the first projects that I got to work on when I came here was a project that we referred to as Project Blue Water. Most of the projects in economic development have code names because the companies don't want their employee base to know that they might be relocating. If they might be in a state that has unions, they don't want to let them know they might be leaving because North Carolina's a right to work state. And there's just a whole lot of other reasons why you don't want your competitors to know that you might be producing a new product. So there's a lot of reasons why these projects stay confidential. And a lot of times we don't even know who the company is until maybe closer to an announcement. So Project Blue Water was a spa and spa product and pool product manufacturer, and they were looking to stand up a new research and development facility. And so they were looking around this area in this market, and we just happened to have a site in Pinnacle Business Park that was conducive to what their needs were. And so we worked with the representatives of the consulting team that was advising this company. We worked with some developers and general contractors about how a building could work on that site. And so it's economic development is a process, and it's a marathon. It's not a sprint, as we like to say. So it was probably about a 12-month process from the time we first knew this company was looking in our market to find a facility or to find a site to build a facility, until we actually had a groundbreaking. And so this picture actually represents the groundbreaking, where town council, many are in this picture, actually got to put their foot on a shovel, as we say. And that's really what you live for. This was a great day for the town of Apex. They had a great event out there. And one of the other firsts for this project, which this company is actually called Pent Air, is the name of the company. I can say that now because they've announced and they've been here for a couple of years. But this company received the town's first incentive policy. The town did not have received the town's first incentive. The town did not have an incentive policy prior to me starting up the department. And so that was one of the things I walked council through, was what an incentive policy could look like, what it does, what it means, why it's important. And so Pentair was the first company to receive a policy, or rather an incentive under the town's new policy. And it was a first win, if you will, for the town under our new economic development initiative. So it really felt good and it was exciting. It was a great day, and it was just the first of many to come. And so another component of our efforts in economic development, we love the big announcements. We love the big industries. We love the corporate relocations. We love it when we get to put our foot on a shovel and have a big building come out of the ground. But just as important, and really the bread and butter of any economic development program, is your small business community, your entrepreneurs, your mom and pops, the ones that really, work day in, day out, 20 hours a day, making that business run. Because a lot of times they live in your community as well. And that's why they chose Apex, or a town like Apex, is because they could actually, work and live right in the same community and really put their heart and soul in it. So we recognized early on that we needed to probably spend some more intentional time devoted to our small business community and our entrepreneurs. So we stood up a program called Launch Apex. Launch Apex is based on a national program called Launch My City. And it's literally launching businesses into the next level, whether it's a startup company that needs to kind of take itself to the next level, or a company that's been around for maybe, say, 10 years but has just sort of fallen flat on their productivity or their business base. And so Launch has 4 main components. It's a business training, business networking, financial resources, and mentoring. So those 4 components is what we put our class, which we call a cohort, through. We have had 7 cohorts to date of the Launch program. We've graduated over 75 businesses and entrepreneurs that now call Apex home, or that continue to call Apex home. And again, this is something that we do in partnership with Wake Tech. I'm not a business trainer. I could never train you on how to run a business, but I know all the partners to bring together to help these companies grow. So our Launch Apex program is just that. We are launching new businesses in the community by giving them networking, training, mentorship, and some access to some financial resources so that those businesses can grow and stay in Apex and really be part of that, again, that bread and butter of our business community.